Howdy, I'm Rachel, and this is my video for this week. Here are a couple of my thoughts. The most memorable piece for me was the second one, which was the duo of the lady on the computer and the man playing the cello or the double bass. I'm not entirely sure what it was. And the reason it was so memorable for me was because it was constantly changing. There was no set theme scene throughout the entire performance. It was just different things in different sections throughout it. And I thought that was really interesting. Especially the man playing the instrument, he was doing something different all the time. He was using different techniques. The piece that I remembered the least was the first one, which was the man with the band backing track with a whole bunch of different sounds going on at the same time. It was very disorderly, and he was soloing with his electric guitar over it. The reason I feel like I remembered it the least was because it was very straight. Nothing changed about it. The whole performance was just him soloing over, I guess, a generated background. I'm not entirely sure whether it was pre-recorded or it was being generated live. Regardless, it just didn't change. It was the same concept throughout the entire thing. I think if I could ask the second performers a question, it would be how do you know each other so well? How do you know how to play off of each other's parts? Especially since they aren't verbally communicating throughout the performance. It was interesting to see how the lady on the computer would change based on what the instrumentalist did, and how the instrumentalist would change based on what the lady on the computer did. I think something like this takes a lot of skill, and I think the way that they would answer this is that it just probably comes from the experience that they have playing with each other. They've just, I guess, learned each other's performance habits, and they know how to make each other stand out. I've barely talked about the third performance. It was a lady who was using her voice to create the piece. She would make sounds or sing into the microphone and use her computer to play back those sounds live, pitching it, reversing it, adding reverb to make this really ambient performance. And if I were to take any technique from this, it would be that, but instead of using my voice, I would use my guitar. If I were to briefly describe each performance, I would say the first piece would be cleanness trying its best to fit in with disorder around it. For the second piece, I would say completely opposite things coming together to make something beautiful. For the third piece, I would say a singular entity layering itself to make something huge.